Hello there. So I'm going to be on the Kataline show in just a few minutes, and I thought it would be fun to have you hang out with me while I do that. So that's coming up. I'm always super, super, super nervous before going on any show, except for doing mine when I'm recording, because then I don't care and I'll just delete things that I don't like. But yeah, so live shows always make me a little jittery, a little nervous. It's this weird thing that happens though. It's so funny. And if you do any of these things, you can probably relate. It's like nervous, 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 all the way up until the point that you're like on air, and then something just flips, like a switch inside just flips, and it's go time. So I'm curious if you notice that, if you'll see that. So I'm gonna let you see like a little bit of the prep, the few moments or minutes, I guess. I don't know. Well, minutes are too long. I'll let you see a little bit before we go live, and then the live. And you can tell me how I did. Critique me kindly, please. All right, here we go.
Great, thanks. I just want to give you a quick call to see if you're all set to jump on the air with Karen.
I am all set.
Okay, great. We're in our spot break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'll put you on hold. I'll let Karen know you're online.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Spouting Off here on our flagship station, 1590 AM, WSMN, and 95.3 FM, Nashua, New Hampshire, the Live Free or Die state. It's Election Day. If you have not gone out to vote, please do. If you're worried, as I am, about election shenanigans, one of the best ways you can counteract that is to make sure you get out and vote. We need all the votes we can possibly get to counteract. We have to win by such a big margin that whatever shenanigans the other side takes, it won't matter. That's unfortunately the reality that we have today. And I am delighted to welcome an incredibly impressive woman. You may have heard her on November 1st when I was gone, and you'll have an opportunity to listen to her host this show again a week from today, where I have some family business I need to take care of. And she is a lifelong patriot and a longtime police wife. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your service. Elsa, Kurt, has channeled her fierce love and passion for defending the defenders of her blue family in her show. She's a correspondent, a media personality for Right America Media, and law enforcement wife. Today, as well as regular co-host on the Kevin Allen Show. She's written numerous books. Welcome to the family. Life Behind the Thin Blue Line. She has been called the must-have survival guide, the book for new law enforcement spouses. She also has written 25 fiction books. Wow. And created 3 merchandise lines. Boy, I'm definitely falling down on the job here. Elsa Kurt joins us here on Spouting Off. Welcome. Good to talk to you.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I appreciate that. What a beautiful introduction there. I love it. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure, and we love and respect the thin blue line around here. Boy, have police and their families been sustaining a beating. But we want to talk about the election. I know you hail from Connecticut. Tell us your, general to the specific thoughts on this election day what you're expecting to see in Connecticut and across the country.
Sure, absolutely. I want to echo what you said, first of all, that, we keep hearing about the red wave, the red wave, the red wave. And yes, I believe that. I hope that. I have my fingers crossed for that. But we have to make that happen. So I get a little anxious. I'm afraid that people are going to sit back and say, oh, well, we've got this. We're good. They don't need my vote. We absolutely 100% need every single red vote out there. Because exactly why you said, we're seeing over in Maricopa County going on right now. Things are happening, and we have to make it so overwhelming that they can't even cheat, or no matter how hard they try to cheat or are cheating, the numbers will surpass their devious means. Connecticut's tough. It's a blue state. It's not fun being me or any other Republican or conservative in this state. We as a whole, we do vote blue. Not me, of course, but yeah. So we'll see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I did my part. I went out and voted. We all went out and voted, and just praying right now, basically.
Well, yeah, I'm with you. When we have every right to question the integrity of our elections, it doesn't threaten, quote, democracy. And Keith Hansen gave us a treatise, which is very important, on the difference between democracies and a republic. But the Democrats really don't believe in any form of democracy. They seem, the radical left, to be pushing a tyrannical government that has only my way or the highway.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, are there any races, first in Connecticut and other places to talk about, where you think there is a possibility, even in New York City, where I used to live some years ago, people are thinking that Lee Zeldin might actually have a possibility, this would be astonishingly great, to unseat the Kathy Hochul, who makes Andrew Cuomo look conservative. So,
yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I am hopeful and I'm skeptical. And, it's really unfortunate to have that mindset when we hear about so many voters. There are so many people that are saying that, the tide is going to turn. Yeah, Lee Zeldin, it's looking like a strong possibility. But, our level of trust here with our system, we know that they like to cheat, and we know that they're incredibly nervous right now. They are scared right now. And, I was laughing. I was making a video the other day, and I was saying, I was going to make a comparison between, Democrats and Republicans, and how we try and get people to go out and vote. And, all I could think of is really that, Republicans will go out and tell you to vote. They'll just say, get out there and vote. And Democrats would tell you how to vote, go do this, it's just, I can't fathom, I sit here and I can't fathom how or why at this point in time anyone would vote Democrat right now. It just, everything that's happening, it blows my mind. But, obviously, here we are.
Well, and I'm already hearing, and this is the reason to make sure and vote if you haven't. I'm hearing that the Department of Justice is now going out and monitoring, of course, Republican districts, claiming that they want to protect people, that there's voter suppression, which is secret code voter suppression.
Right.
They're not letting us cheat as much as we want. ABC reports Republicans should expect their lead to crumble completely in a red barrage as mail-in ballot dumps are counted. How many times have we watched this before? They're winning, and then suddenly they either stop counting the votes, or they all of a sudden they keep counting ballots until they win.
Right.
And so a lot of us are nervous about that. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I am equally nervous and anxious about it. And, I'm like pre-angry. Is that a thing? I'm pre-angry.
Like, yeah.
I'm pretty
I have to
angry
feel that
because
one.
because you see it happening. You see it happening, how they do it, and I I am hopeful. I don't like to give in too hard to my skepticism. I do love that over in Florida there, they told the DOJ to where they could go, and it's not Florida.
Which is what you gotta do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a warmer place. It's a warmer place than even Florida in July,
Mm-hmm.
actually. So, yes, and that is what we have to do. We're ladies here, so I like to talk about some of the more emotional, softer, not so soft issues
Sure.
about this. Did you ever, Elsa, think we would live to see a time in which we truly do believe that the government has turned on its own people? That's a broad question for you to hit out of the park.
Yeah, no, sure. No, and I can, the easy answer, the fast answer is no. I never really believed that we would see a day like this in the United States. Historically, history of other countries, will tell us, of course, to be wary and to always be mindful. Ronald Reagan told us that a long time ago, right? What was I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something to the effect of, the seven most dangerous words is something to the effect of I'm here from the government and I'm here to help, or something along those lines.
Here to
Don't
help.
count what I just said. I don't even know if that was 7 words or not, but you know what I mean.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
There you go. Thank you. Yes. So, and I agree with that. And it's been a scary thing to witness how easily and how quickly the American people, who should know better, because we know history. We all took history, well, the real history, not the one that they're trying to teach the kids now. But we should have known better. We really should have known better. And I've said it before. The liberals have played the long game for a very, very long time, and they've had these plans in motion for way longer than we've been paying attention. So we're playing a big game of catch up right now. I think that's my opinion.
Yeah, and that ain't hunts or anything else catch up. It's really unpretty out there.
Yes.
We've got a couple of minutes. I'm looking at your website. Just fascinated by the amount of multitasking you seem capable of doing here. Talk about your show and about you do a show for writers. So talk about that a little bit, and we're going to take a little detour from the election coverage, because there's going to be a lot of it at Right American Media this evening and other places. So go ahead and tell us about some of what you do.
Oh, thanks so much. So,
talk about yourself.
I'm sure I'd love to. Well, as you as you can see by the website, I never have a bored moment in my life. I'm always busy doing something or other. I figured if I have one podcast, I might as well have two. Everything started with writing for me. I was an author before I started doing any of the other things that I do now. And so I wanted to, as an extension of that, just to stay within that, I wanted to help my fellow authors, aspiring authors, really, and new authors who were struggling with this whole process and this whole journey. And as you know, the authors market is saturated. There's the millions and millions of us. So it's really hard to stand out. And I thought, this would be a nice thing to do to help out new and aspiring authors. So that's that show. It's called the Writers Tribe Talk Show. And I invite authors to come on and talk about their books and their experience and their process, as well as like industry insiders. And it's a lot of fun. I like it's a little bit of giving back in my mind, to give back to the author community. That was always so great to me. And the other podcast, the Elsa Kurt Show, started as primarily a pro-police support, law enforcement, first responders, kind of a support thing for them to help get the word out about all of the good things that are about law enforcement and the men and women behind those, behind the badges, really, and to help them navigate their journeys throughout, all the difficulties that come along with it. And it's kind of evolved, but that's still the core, always the core for me.
Yeah. Elsa, say a word, if you would, for those of us who love and respect law enforcement and the sheepdogs and their families that are drawn to protecting, defending innocent life, innocent citizens. Just say a word if you would for those of us who
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
what it's been like for you.
Thank you.
The Democrats turned on the. What I like to say is that the arsonists are in charge of the fire brigade.
Mm-hmm.
They're going after the fire brigade instead of the criminals, making law enforcement criminals. I'd like to have you say a word about that.
Thank you. I'm happy to. First and foremost, I want to say that we as law enforcement families, spouses, partners, we see you. We see the people, the true community out there that are in support. We talk so much about those negative ones and the people that are against us, particularly the Democrats and the leaders of this state in particular, the Democrat leaders in the state have done nothing but harm to our law enforcement. But we just lost 2 officers. They were ambushed, and the outpouring of love and support for the law enforcement community in our town and state has been so heartwarming. It's brought me to tears. I can't even tell you how many times. So that's the biggest thing I want to say to the listeners, that we see you and we are so profoundly grateful for the outpouring of support when the chips are down, so to speak. I mean, we'd love to see that year round all the time. And it's just so much gratitude right now for the good people out there that are letting us know.
Yes. And we have seen firsthand, unfortunately, what happens when you have a radical America-hating ideology that says we need to take money away and defund the police. There's only one side of the aisle that has supported that, regardless of how much Joe Biden said that was a Republican idea. That is as preposterous is that Joe Biden is calling all the shots in Washington, D.C. The truth of the matter is that everyone is less safe wherever they have defunded the police, and we are seeing crime skyrocket, and it has been a huge issue in this election, and it should be.
Absolutely.
We got about 30 seconds or so, and I'd love to give you the floor. What do you want to leave people with? And then you'll be joining us and filling in for me a week from today, next Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Just to reiterate, to say it again, thank you all so much that are out there supporting and showing your love and support for law enforcement and us as the family members. We're profoundly grateful. Keep doing that, please, and fight back. So many people say that, in private that they're supporters and we've got your back, but they're afraid to say things out loud in public. We need everybody to stand up and be bold and be brave and be louder than the voices of hate. And we will change the world that way, and also change the world with your vote today, right now. Start. Get out there and vote,
yes,
please.
We're all going to, you can be with me while I close out the show, Elsa.
Thank you.
We are going to pray that honest elections will prevail and the will of the people will prevail tonight all over this country. Thanks, Elsa Kirk, for joining us. Thanks to everybody who makes Spouting Off possible. And we'll be back on Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, to talk about the election results.
Hey, family, if you're looking for the perfect gift for the reader in your life, why not check out one of my books? They're all available on Amazon and most major online book retailers, as well as elsakurt.com.